recently this guy came to the door and he was like, hey, do you have pests? Do you have bugs? Da-da-da-da. And I was like, yeah, I do.
And Ashlee, like a sucker,
Zoom. I was like, buy it.
fell for the door-to-door salesman.
Do it. I want to be over with. My husband keeps talking about it. He signs me up for this agreement, tells me it's a certain price, tells me it's one thing, signs me the agreement monthly of what it is. Yeah. So then I paid the first month, and then you have to pay the second month, and then it goes bi-monthly. So I paid August and then September. Well, this morning I woke up and I was like, what is that so much? I was like, I did not sign that agreement.
It's $40 over.
It was. That's lashes. That's my lashes.
Now, every money matters.
$49, a dollar away from $50. $50.
That's,
that $50 is a lot of money.
That's my whole.
So I have no idea. So
I just need her to treat my money like it's her money. Because $40 overage is just on the phone, talking to, human resource, IRS, like everyone. And then, dude, I'll just be sitting down, see my car, 200, 300, 400, 500, just zing, 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 just racked up.
Okay, long story short, I end up calling them because they overcharged me $49. Well, I text the guy, I said, hey, you overcharged me. He's like, no, I'll send you an agreement. I said, no, I'll send you the agreement. Sent it over. I was like, it's $110, not $159. Yeah, yes. I was like, no, it's not $159. He's like, I'll send you the agreement. I was like, I'll do you one better, sir. I'll send it to you. So it says 110. Crickets. Don't hear from him. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to call the company. So I call the girl. Her name's Ashlee. Ashlee was like, yeah, this is crazy.
Make this shorter.
That was crazy. So then she connects it to the other guy. The other guy's like, I've never seen this. He's like, I've never seen this. And he's like, I'm going to tell you right now, Ashlee, those prices are not our prices. He goes, I don't even know what he gave you. He did not give me. He was like, those aren't even our prices. Huh?
No. Here's some background information.
Now I cancel, and they can give me my money.
So we're sitting. I said, babe, you're the foolish one for taking a door-to-door salesman. Like, no disrespect on all of them, but a lot of them are known for taking advantage of you. And so this, like, what's happening is,
'cause I'm a cute little girl.
Yeah. You're a fool, is what you are. Now, mind you,
block caller.
I booked that same day. Our AC system goes out. We just came home from a trip. So we got, middle of summer, no AC, house is cooking. I contact a company for like emergency services and I can't get a hold. They're like, a week is the nearest. So then So I contact a vendor for
Make the story shorter.
I contact a vendor from the church. I'm like, hey, I need you to just do me solid. It's might be electrical. Can you come check? So dude drives like 45 minutes to meet with me. And then all of a sudden, he and I are talking, we're going in and out to fix it, and I just see this, 21-year-old kid in our kitchen going, yeah, we could spray right here, we could do this, and we could do it. And Ashlee's like, because I saw him ring the doorbell, and I'm like, oh, Ashlee, we're just going to ignore it. And all of a sudden, in the kitchen, Ashlee's like, yeah, baby, so what do you think? And I look at her, I go, we're kind of in the middle of something that, really matters right now. Like,
Not the rat infestation in the backyard.
That was one of your bill responsibilities that you had cut off for 9 months, and it became a problem.
They don't do rats. They do black widows.
Regardless, it was all an issue. And you're like, oh, look, God sent me someone at my door. No, the devil, the devil sent someone to your door, and you fell for it. You fell for it. You're lucky you found a man. You lucky you found a man. You would have still been in them gutters. So then I'm in there and she's like, yeah, I go, do whatever you want, babe. I'm like, someone actually drove here to come and help us. Not some guy just coming to our door. Yeah. And clearly overcharging everyone by $50 and putting it in his pocket.
I wonder what Miss Shirley, I shouldn't go knock on her door down the street and see if she got overcharged. Because he was like, oh, Shirley in the corner and so across. He's signed up too.
He's lying. He would have said, what's your name? They would have been like, oh, my name's Shirley. And then he would have came to us and be like, I'm working with Shirley. Like, no, you're not. So what are their prices? What are their real prices?
He said $140 bi-monthly. I was like, bro, that's crazy. That's expensive. My other place was $80.
Yeah, but they didn't do rabbits and rats and stuff, like you said.
They probably did. I just never asked.
Oh my god.
At that point in time, we didn't have rats, so why would I be looking for rats? This time now, I seen the rat.
This is the world I live in. This is my life.
Oh, hola.
She's in my.
¿Cómo estás?
No, don't start.
Oh, hola,
Don't start.
¿cómo estás? This guy,
No.
this morning, I come downstairs. No, first off, I was like, what are you doing today?
This was supposed to be a surprise,
It's not
but
a
go
surprise.
ahead.
Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to just go up to you and start speaking
Nancy's
Spanish.
gonna care. Watch.
Nancy's going to care.
Watch.
Nancy's going to be, oh my God, oh, una poquito, hola la chiquitito.
You're being like really racist right now. Right.
That's how they talk, right? Yeah. Oh, my pobrecito. Well, because you're Spanish. Whatever. And Mexican. So today, Adam and I are texting. I was like, oh, are you working out today? He was like, I was going to work out today. This is how I envision how he's texting me. I was going to work out today, but instead, I decided that I signed up to learn Spanish.
That's not what
So,
I said.
I
I'm
got
not
a
Patrick Star. I'm not.
I got a tutor. I got a tutor from Mexico. And so I come in and
Yeah, I pay a tutor now in Mexico to
Hola.
teach me Spanish.
Yes.
Yeah.
To deliver all the updates to you in Spanish.
yes, yeah. Now you guys can only speak Spanish to him. You only talk to him in Spanish, and if he can't respond, you have to.
See, I'm trying to lock in.
So
trying to
I
lock in,
record
bro.
him. I'm like, and he's just looking at it like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, and it's not y tú, it's
You know, no. She's doing it wrong.
Estupideces.
Igualmente.
igualmente.
Yeah. Like,
Same
yeah. See,
as you.
I'm getting refined. See?
That's like the next level.
Yeah. See? Nancy's like, this is an educated man.
3 years old to 5 years old.
See? See?
He literally looked like a little kid in school. He was like this. He
Have
got
my
all
headphones
cute and dressed up. I was like, who are you trying to look cute for? The
I had to go to
Spanish
work.
teacher?
I had to
He
go
was
to
like
work,
sitting
dummy.
there like,
I had to go to work. My hair's slicked.
he did have his hair slicked. I got a video. I got the video.
No, don't do me dirty like that.
Of course I
Don't do
am.
me
What do you
dirty
do?
like
Of
that.
course. I was like, look at this. And I peeked around the corner. I was like, hola, ¿cómo estás? I was like, whatever.
Nah, you can't do me dirty like that.
Yes, I can. Where are you? Where are you?
Too funny.
Oh, and you probably can't even.
Wait, what?
Come on, what? Why you gonna do me dirty like that? I'm. Get out of here. We just start, she's like, your Spanish is good, but let's just start from the beginning. I'm like, okay. She's like, like.
But look, come look real quick. I was like, come look.
Come on.
Okay. Okay, look. Let me peek around the corner. Come look.
Not you from the
Look.
stairs, you creep.
See, I got like, huh? I know, she's a creeper.
Yeah, of course.
Looks like
I go.
Thomas.
Look,
Thomas in school.
he's like, Look, his hands crossed. His hands crossed like he's student. Estudiante. What did you call it? Estudiante? Look at him. Looking all confused.
I got.
Oh, me, but he can't.
No, because-
Can you even roll your R's?
Yeah, I can roll
Let me
my
see.
R's.
Let me see.
No.
Give me a word. Give me a word. Give me a word.
I got like, que gusto verte.
What?
We're learning that today.
Que gusto
And
verte.
then, because we're working on conversational. So,
I was gonna say that.
so-
It's like good to see you.
so say.
He said it really white.
Nancy, say. No, I didn't. Say goodbye in Spanish.
Adios.
Yeah, she taught me like you could say saludos a tu mamá. It's like, hey, say hi to your mom for me.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I'm gonna be such a G when I speak
Tu
Spanish.
madre.
I'm gonna be like, yeah. See, I'm locking
Thomas,
in.
tu madre.
Not on that elementary stuff. Not like not like hasta luego. I'm like, we locking in. Igualmente. See?
Gabe, can you speak Spanish?
And no, he can't.
You know more than me.
Un poquito.
And she knows I'm a pastor, so she's like, okay, let's say that a member comes up to you, and because she goes, you said you like to say Dios te bendiga when they leave. She's like, so here's, sometimes they're going to be married and they're not going to have their spouse with them. So you're going to say, hasta luego, Dios te bendiga, saludos a tu esposo or esposa. And so she's locking me in, right? Where normally I would have just been like, oh, you know, like bye or whatever. Yeah. See, I'm locked in. Look at it, one class.
And our little abuelitos are gonna be like, "Okay."
No, they're gonna melt because anytime someone like an old mom or grandma in the church comes and she doesn't speak good English,
Nancy Cuisine, yeah.
Because Nancy's next to me every Sunday and she sees our Spanish speaking people with the mom or the dad who doesn't speak very good English, and I'm I always just got
Nancy.
it.
Come on.
No, because they the kids normally translate for them, and so. So I just when they leave, I hit them with the Dios te bendiga, and they light up like, oh my goodness. So now we could weave through that conversation. It's one day.
I don't think it's weaving. I think it may be like
with my
what
I'm just saying with my learning capabilities and disabilities, I'll be on lock in the next year.
It is. You are something.
I should probably ramp it up more. We're doing once a week right now, but I should probably increase it.
That's pretty good.
There's one of the I didn't say, but there's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. One reason I'm doing it is because
you're Mexican and you should already know Spanish. That's why. One, go to two.
No.
Go to the second, because that should have been already yes. You would have been way more attracted if you would have spoken to me in Spanish. Oh, yes. But you just be jibber jabber.
Your whole mother's side of the family is Polish. You don't know Polish?
Yeah, I like Polish sausage.
What is that? Yeah, I like burritos. What does it have to do with anything? Like what? What is this?
I have cousins. My aunts speak Polish.
Yeah, and my grandma speaks Spanish. What does that matter?
But Polish isn't like a common language. It doesn't say I'm bilingual. I speak Polish.
Pretty. I mean, like, it's
and they'd
pretty
be like,
common.
oh yeah, me too.
It's pretty common. In Eastern Europe.
Oh, Eastern. Do we live there?
Do we live in Mexico?
Yeah, pretty much. You're like border.
You be border. Yeah, right.
We live next to Pomona. Come on.
Oh gosh.
And Fontana, And we have a Cardenas.
Oh my gosh. Hey, she's lucky. She's a female and black because she can't be canceled, or else right now you'd be canceled right now.
No, because I wish. How many times do I say I wish I was Hispanic, and it makes me
my last name. You are. So what? So learn it. Sit, get a chair next to me at my tutor. She'll teach you tutor. Yeah.
Tutor.
Yeah, she'll teach you.
I wish you knew Spanish because I wish my kids knew Spanish.
Why are you making fun of me then? I am trying to learn Spanish.
Because
how is this a thing right now?
Because
I gotta learn somehow. I gotta start somewhere.
Because if you listen to Alize or Nancy and the way they speak Spanish, they already have like a beautiful like accent.
I'm gonna get
Your
there.
Your tongue is like big and it like gets in the way.
Big.
Verde. Why is the verde?
It's not Verde, it's birthday.
It's not. What is it? Birthday. Like your country now.
Birthday.
Come on.
Birthday.
Your white side showing now. Come on.
Nancy's agreeing with me. What are you talking about? You're not.
Second time was better.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Well, no, because she's saying Verde, so it's getting stuck in my head. I'm like, she's saying it wrong. Yeah.
Anybody that speaks Spanish, I am like infatuated with. I
Okay,
love it. Like when the two of them go talking about me in Spanish, I love it.
Yeah. No, Ashlee knows because there's certain words you guys use. She does
like,
know
that's
certain cuss words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Them little girls. Yes.
Like, like I'm trying. And I'm gonna get made fun of for it.
I'm trying.
Listen. I felt stupid today, but
why? That's actually really cool. Okay, what you're doing is really cool, Ben. You know what?
I'm not embarrassed about it, but I'm like, it feels dumb to feel like she's like, oh yeah, good job.
How old is she?
Like, she's like 24 or something like that. She's like a kindergartner teacher, to be honest, in Chihuahua. She lives in Chihuahua. Yeah.
Make Matthias and Thomas sit with me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I watched clips of like Finding Nemo and Coco and stuff like that. Like
really.
Yeah, I guess the premise of the program is they do it's based on like neuroscience. So what she does is like we read it in a document. Her and I go back and forth. We talk about it, and then we watch a video of movies with those words. It's just clipped And then like it like gets in your head. And so I'm watching like clips of like Finding Nemo, Cars, Coco, and all it is greetings. So they're just like, all the greetings we went through, and then it's supposed to be like subconsciously like seeping into your brain. And then for the week they want you to like rewatch it.
Yeah,
and then
I don't think I've ever asked you this though, because you retain so much. What kind of learner are you?
Like conversational. Yeah.
But so that's not visual. Like visual, so it'd be, what is it?
I need all of them. Yeah, I need all of them. So it's audibly, visibly, interactive. Anyone who's a teacher would know the other. I think those are the three main. I may be forgetting
I'm just
the fourth.
visual. You have to show me.
So it's interactive, which that's Montessori. So interactive is my highest form of learning.
Okay.
But I can retain from video, so visual.
Yeah.
Hearing, it's reading. Hearing and reading I struggle with the most. So
then what did you what was more helpful today, because you did remember a lot just even have in this conversation.
I mean, just the frequency, the amount of times I did it. We did it. I mean, I read it, I said it, we talked. There's no, but slightly as I'm thinking, I can like think of some of those like movie clips that we were watching and, kind of remember. But we went through like 8 greetings, 6 goodbyes, this and that. And so, I got to
6 goodbyes.
Yeah. So you have like, hasta luego, hasta la vista, ciao.
Okay.
All those.
All those. Yeah.
So that you don't sound like, naturally in English, we don't use the same goodbyes or whatever.
True.
And, just like I said, she taught me like, if you feel the same way as someone else, don't repeat what they would say. You wouldn't say that in English. You would say same. So igualmente. She's like, say that they're teaching conversational, but it's, but so, a friend is putting something together where some individuals are sponsoring 7 Hispanic couples from America to go to Spain to learn about their church heritage in the Camino for 2 weeks next year, to make them better pastors, knowing, because a lot of church history, you learn American church history, but the Latin and Hispanic church history, I mean, it goes back to the New Testament, essentially. Basically, when the Bible was canonized and Constantine made Christianity legal in Rome, it's been said that his right-hand person was Hispanic. They were from Hispania. So, this... they're like, I don't want to, give away their name. I don't know if it's publicized, but they're like museum curators, and they want to take, certain pastors that have Hispanic descent to the Camino to learn about their heritage, to make them better pastors in America. So that's a 2-week trip, and all the pastors going speak Spanish except for me. And so I was like,
Sammy speaks Spanish?
Yeah. He lived in Dominican Republic for like 5 years. He's decent. I've challenged it and thought he was like lying. And then I've listened to him speak. I'd probably say like, he's probably like, I don't know, 5th or 6th grade, level Spanish.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah. It's strong. Better than like the average kind of kindergartner, level, which is probably where I'm at. I'm probably like kindergarten level Spanish. So that was like, okay, that's in a year. So I'm like, okay, I have a year that I could go from kindergarten to hopefully like 3rd or 4th grade Spanish.
Right.
But last week I was in Kentucky, and then I laid over in Atlanta, and there was this like 85-year-old woman who was I think she was from Spain, because she didn't look Mexican, and her Spanish didn't sound familiar. And so it sounded very polished, which is much more of a Spanish, a Spaniard Spanish, or she could have been from somewhere else in South America. But she was like trying to buy like chips and a soda, and she didn't speak English. And the staff were pretty like, they were pretty rude to her, and they're like kind of like raising their voice at her, and she's like, "I'm sorry," and so. She was probably like 85 years old, traveling by herself, and she's not American at all. So she didn't even know what to do with the dollars. She like just gave them like $20 and like here, and like we would in any other country we don't know. And so,
me.
and they're like trying to talk to her, and she walks away without change. So they're like, "Ma'am, you need your change." They get her. She leaves. They get her. They like bring her back, and she's like, "Oh," and she starts pulling out more money. Like, "Oh, do I owe more money?" And so then finally, I noticed she's speaking Spanish. So I spoke very limited.
Yeah.
I said, "No más dinero, todo bien." And she was like, "Oh, todo bien, blah blah blah." You know, I said, "No más." You know, and so like, and I said a couple other words in Spanish, and she was like, "Oh, gracias, blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And she said a couple other words. I picked up some, and then I responded back, and then she left, and she met me outside, said thank you again, and I was just like, you know what? I need to just learn Spanish. I just need to commit to it because it's, you know, I knew enough that I could help her, and I was just like, you know, I need to just commit to try my best. And I'm like, every week, you know, literally every day I'm with someone who speaks Spanish.
Right.
So I'm like, I could eat. It's not like me trying to pick up like, I would love to learn French, but I'm like, who do I talk to? Who would I sharpen up with? But I'm like, you know, my EA speaks fluent Spanish, so I'm like, I could start talking to Nancy in Spanish only.
Well,
so I'm like, there's so many stuff that, like, I could sharpen it. So
well, you have
I'm like, I'll just do it,
you have
know.
Nancy, you have Javi, Rafael, and Crystal. Because Crystal,
Those are just staff members.
No,
yeah,
staff. Yeah,
right.
that's staff. Because Crystal has told Rafael, who speaks Spanish, she's told him only speak to me in Spanish, so I can get better at my Spanish. And he's also told Candace that too, which I didn't know Candace could. Apparently she's wanting to learn as well, yeah, because she works at the merch cart. So there's sometimes people who come and she's like, we don't have anybody that speaks Spanish at the merch cart.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, and we have a lot of you know, Catholics, and once Catholics are starting to come to our church, and you know, their parents visit and speak Spanish, and I don't plan to learn how to preach in Spanish, but if given the opportunity, I'd be like, oh, I'd like to, like, you know, go to a church and I'll still speak English, but I can with the congregation.
Right.
And I get, like, you know, I've spoken in Orlando and other places, and those are like, I've had translators for those. So, you know, So I was like, I'm committing to it. I've tried Babbel and all those. It just didn't work. So I researched, found this company that does like tutoring with. You can actually pick the country. So if I wanted to learn Spanish from someone in Spain, I can choose that and stuff like that. But I thought no, I'm gonna just.
But I think it's also, you know, what you were saying is being challenged in the day in and day out, because like you said, doing Babbel, it's one thing to learn every day. Like my mom was doing the same thing, but if you're not actually practicing it, like, and you go to, let's just say you go to Cabo or Cancun or anywhere, and you go and try to speak, you're gonna literally be thinking more than you're speaking. Yeah. Because you just aren't training yourself every single day. So yeah. I like to make fun, but I think it's really cool.
They say with their program, if you do 3 days a week for 12 months, you'll be close to fluent at the end of it. But I'm only gonna do 1 day, but or 1 day a week, but so 4 times a month, but still. But they say
an hour
like,
though, right?
An hour, yeah, 50 minutes. So I could find 50 minutes, huh?
You're gonna woo her with your new Spanish.
Better.
She's not gonna care.
Better.
Yeah.
Better take me to Cardenas.
Yeah, that's gonna be
I'm gonna be so excited.
That's gonna be an awkward. That's gonna be an awkward tutoring class though. When I say, can we start learning romance? It's gonna be a weird. My wife's trying to have me learn.
She wants me to seduce her in Spanish.
Yeah. You got a guy that maybe could teach me? You got like a brother or something, Stephanie? Could teach me this?
Oh my God.
That's the best. That's the best. But everybody, welcome to Beyond I Do. Halfway in.
Yeah, I know. After all that, and then Erica, Ashlee's like, you know, making fun of me in one of our group texts, and Aaron's wife, Erica, she's like, how do you have the time? I'm like, I don't do anything other than work. So I'm like, I just, you know, like, I'm like, I don't watch TV.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, where everybody else is watching TV or doing whatever else, I'm like,
It takes you and I probably over a month to watch, maybe even 2 months to watch a series. Sometimes it takes us 2 days to watch a movie.
For sure.
Because we'll start the movie and then we'll be like, you tired? And I'm like, yeah, I'm tired.
I'm like, I'm ready for bed.
Go to bed.
Yeah. Like, I just did it because I wanted to say we were spending time together. I go to bed.
Half the time he's like, "Are you asleep?" I'm like, "No, I'm wide awake." Yeah, no, that's how our days are.
Yeah. Well, this I guess this wouldn't bleed into it, but someone asked a question last week. I did a solo episode last time, first time.
Without me,
I did.
Were you sad?
Yeah,
Were you sad?
No, I tend to do best by myself in everything. So
I told her you were bragging about her though.
was I? I don't remember it.
Oh,
We do so
see-
many episodes. No, I was. What did I say? I'm trying to. Well, I know the content of the solo episode. I did, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
You were like, before we start the episode, I just want to say, my wife, she's so amazing.
I don't think I did that.
I took it.
Say it in Spanish. Say it in
Yeah,
Spanish.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
understand.
Antes que empecemos este episodio, mi esposa fue tan increíble.
Oh,
Yeah. No, before you started, you did start. Just
Did
like,
I?
wait, before I
said
start.
she was on a.
Before
I
I
said she was
start.
with a
Isn't
family.
Spanish so pretty?
Yeah.
Depends
You're
on which.
speaking in Spanish.
Depends on which Spanish.
When you-
though.
Yeah,
you just- it comes-
choppy.
The typewriter.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Have you ever seen those TikToks of like how each Spanish like culture and what
Yeah.
it sounds like? Like, oh, this one sounds like an airplane rudder. This one sounds like a typewriter. And it's like someone who speaks the different. They're like, oh, this is Argentina's. This is
Yeah.
Mexico's. This is blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Those are funny. Yeah.
That is. But yeah, he did brag about you for like 10 minutes.
Oh.
Saying how you were so kind and sweet and
Honestly, I don't think I did.
yes, you did.
I'd love to
you
take
were
credit.
like, it was
I
so
would love to win some
thoughtful.
bounty
You
points.
were talking about how okay, yeah, you guys remember.
You're probably
you were saying
right.
how it was thoughtful, like that she went out of her way. She was like, you know what, I got a plan. You will meet us over there. I'll check into the hotel.
Oh,
I'll bring the boys so you can
Okay,
sleep with us
okay, man,
and
that
wake up
totally
with
slipped my
us.
mind right now. From that, I didn't
Yeah.
think I don't remember sharing it in the episode, but now I do.
I don't know. I think it was beyond the letter though. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. See, it all blurs. I told
It
you.
was beyond the letter.
Well, I did two
Oh, yeah, it
solo
was beyond the-
episodes.
Oh,
It was beyond to do. I saved it. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I wasn't there though.
Okay.
So you
I did
missed
throw you
me.
under the bus, though.
Not
I said you have an issue with rest, and so
with rest.
yeah, like you don't take a full day off. No, you
Oh,
always got
no.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
no.
take this coffee meeting. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and then the next day, you're like, oh, I'm so exhausted from this week. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm like, please. So I said today I'm gonna talk about the number one issue in our marriage.
Rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But yeah.
Good. I'm glad that's the issue right now. 'Cause they ain't always have been. There's
No,
never been-
definitely ain't.
There's been.
And that ain't no mo.
Yeah. Go ahead. All right.
He's like, all right.
Get red.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't talk about it here, but.
I wonder if my tutor will do therapy as well in Spanish. She's like, sir, I'm 21.
She's like,
I don't think I'm qualified for that. I'm like, well, let's just try. Let's try in Spanish.
that is.
Mi esposa loca.
Dang, he learned that quick.
he already Googled that one. That's already been in his vocabulary.
I'm ready for that week 3. When she's like, you want to add anything else? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
I got one.
Yeah. So rest. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to hash it out. Here's the, I did a whole solo episode on that. Yeah.
You were gonna tag on from last week though.
No, because people submitted questions
Yes,
and none
yes.
of them worked for a solo episode. So
Okay.
I took like some of them were talking about like, you know, questions on date nights and this and that, and then I said honestly, you know, if people just rested well, you'd probably see a lot of, you know, symmetry in some of these issues. But someone asked, you know, there's a lot of people who watch Beyond I Do that in some way, shape, or form they work with their spouse. I don't know if we ever done an episode where we've kind of just talked about, and since it'll be shorter day since we've already started kind of talking and bantering, but you know, I don't remember ever doing an episode on like how you and I work together and what that looks like. Because a lot of people, they may be entrepreneurs and they work with their spouse. They may own companies and they work with their spouse. They may work for a company and they just happen to work with, you know, with their spouse. And so you and I are going on 11 years, 10 years? 10 years working together. So as long as we've been married, 10 years working together. First 5 years was you literally working for me, my assistant, and then the past 2 years, kind of working together while I'm still, you know, kind of the leader on paper and in practice, but we also kind of now more than ever have to collaborate, and you have more responsibility under your grasp as well. And so a lot of people struggle with like, well, who's right and who's wrong when, we get the marriage thing, we get home, but what about business? What about managing people? What about vision casting, et cetera, et cetera? We kind of talked a little bit about Lester and Kirsten, their way, and Lester's, who shared on his view of it is a little bit like we're on two different train tracks, and then we're getting to the same destination, just different ways. Yours, we brought at the size of what we're leading, with the amount of people we're leading. We could do that, but it would be hard. You'd have to have like a really clear. We're just not really clear on who does what in that sense. So it would be hard because you and I have a lot of we cross pollinate in certain departments and stuff like that. So, being that you've been more of the kind of submitted one in the working relationship, like how has it been for you the past 10 years?
Well, if I would to put it, kind of have Kirsten and Lester said that they're on two separate tracks. I believe you and I are on the same train. You are steering the head of the train, and I'm the caboose, is what I would say.
Okay.
I'm the one that I would say that in our work relationship, have kind of, like you said, gone in as, obviously some people would be like, that's weird, he's your husband, but you're still my boss. And someone would be like, you can say, yes, I can say that. I am not insecure. I have no ego. I do not care. And I have a great boss, like who loves not only on.
Right, we all agree, right?
Like I have a great boss where Adam has done a great job of just even in the roles where he was in creative, and then moving up with the transition to leading. Adam is a visionary, so for me, he's allowed me to have vision too, but also allowed me to have my creative aspect, and then also I guess I would say, because he knows I'm very opinionated and competitive in that way, but using it in ministry in servanthood. So being and working together, you and I have bumped heads a couple times of where I thought, because I'm not in the executive, I've heard certain things and I'm like, how do I protect and how do I help? And that actually got me in trouble in the sense of like, no, Ashlee, I have you in a specific lane because I know your gifts and talents. And the one thing stop chewing on that.
You can hear that?
Yes.
I'm trying, I had garlic before.
Well, that's a you problem. Just let it sit there. Yeah, put it in the side of your cheek.
Great stuff to talk about with my tutor.
Gosh. And so working with you has been fun because I get to be the caboose. I get to kind of like now in this transition, kind of like encourage everyone as we go, as we get to you, like encourage and sit and dream and just be able to just be within the ministry and on staff.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I've genuinely enjoyed. But then also the freedom to just love the church that I grew up in. Because I've been going to this church since 2003, and then being able to work, 2015 when I started working. I sometimes what would get me in trouble is me, because I was a member before I started working here. I was a member before I met Adam. So as a member, I don't think I ever thought like, oh, this could be better. This could be, anytime I came home or I was here for the holidays, I'm like, who's doing all of this creative? I love it. The events, the glitz, the glam. A majority of the time it was Adam before I had even met him. Graffiti on the wall, and the city is our church. He did
recreated Victoria Gardens on stage,
all of those things. And so I never had thought I was creative. Like I just never thought that was a gifting of mine, but that's something that like, as seeing that, I was like, I think I want to be creative. I think that I could like build up this gifting. So working here, Adam has not only encouraged me, but I would say all of our staff to just be creative, which I think that's what continues to grow ministry, that continues to grow. And I would say that would help continually have a creative spirit, because each year is something different. Each year is something new. As you see, times change, social media changes, interests change, always. And it's not always staying up with the know, but always having a desire to grow, to expand. And that is something that Adam has always challenged and charged us as a ministry as whole to do that. And not only as a ministry as whole, but me as a wife to think differently, to do differently, to be.
So how do you and I handle like disagreement in the process of?
Oh, well, you've yelled at me, and I own up to it. Mm-hmm. Like we got in I wouldn't say an argument, but there was an incident where there was merch that was supposed to be purchased, and I got in the mix of it just because I was like, okay, let's not overkill. And so then I went in and I was like, let's not overkill. And I overstepped, and I went in and I was like, we're not overkilling. Let's buy this amount. This is what it is. I did not talk to him, did not talk to any of the executives. I was just like, let me just do that. And so some people would be like, well, did you use your name? Did you go in? It was a collaborative thing.
Well, she had heard in a different meeting, like, hey guys, we need to cut the budget a little bit, be more mindful about spending. And,
yes.
And then, well, really her and Nathan both, they were like, okay, well, yeah, shirts, that's not a big deal, but it was a one-time event we were going to do. And, so they were like, yeah, Adam wants us to cut costs. Let's cut costs right there. But, and the people you told it to, they were scared to tell you, these numbers are coming from Adam.
Because that's what a lot of
things. He said cut costs. He wasn't talking about this thing.
Right.
He was telling everyone to be mindful. Like, don't just be wasteful. Like, and you guys didn't check that, and you didn't check it. So you're like, they come out and they're like, oh yeah, we have 100 shirts. And it was like, 100? There was supposed to be like 800. What?
So then
like,
I come in the office,
it,
and Adam's passionate and like, who did this? And then I walk in the room, and
no one's saying
anything.
Yeah.
Adam walks in, he's like, who did this? Who did it? And I'm
not talking to employees. I'm talking to myself.
He's like, who did that?
Don't make it sound like I'm screaming at people.
He's screaming
I'm
at a
talking
wall.
to myself. Like,
screaming at a wall.
Like, who did this?
Like a crazy person.
Whose decision was this? No one's was here yet.
It was a Saturday night before service. So I walk in and I look at Phil, and he's like, who would do this? And Phil's sitting there, he's like, oh no. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, who cut the shirts? And I looked at him and go, oh, I did. Like, people get shocked when they that's one thing that I will say that I have grown in ministry and leadership and just even as a person is I feel like there's more respect, and some people could disagree. There's more respect when you're just honest with what you did and not just sugarcoating. And I didn't go right away, well, it was Nathan and I. Adam goes, who did it? And I was like, I did it. He's mad. He's upset. What's the solution? How is this going to come out? There's no sugar. My name is going to be brought up. So, yeah, I did it. And so he's like, well, why would you do that? I said, we cut cost because we thought budget needed to be cut in certain areas. And I figured this was the best area to cut it. And he was like, no. And so I said, so you're okay. So the next thing he didn't say like, oh, you're written up, you're this, you're that. And he's navigating now, having the conversation with me. But before he could say something, I had a question to ask because I still need to learn. This is a learning moment for me from not only my pastor, but my boss. Are you okay with sitting on merch? Because if this budget is what you're agreeing on, my thought was, okay, this is a budget you're agreeing on. And if the shirts don't sell, you're okay with sitting on these shirts and that money basically being washed. I said, you're okay with that? And he goes, yes, I'm okay with it.
Well, no, that's not what I said. I said, you guys aren't looking at it right. You have to look at the minimum that needs to break even because we don't really make a profit on our shirts. So I said, you guys are looking at, well, Adam, you want 800 shirts. What if 800 don't sell? And I said, no, you have to sell 400 or 500 to break even.
Right.
And you're buffering. If it doesn't sell, you're sitting on it.
Right.
And so that's why, and I said, you guys can't make business decisions without a business mind.
Right.
Because that's not how much you're sitting on.
Right.
And so, I have to take the place that's like, you and I have to, if we're going to work together, we have to have a lot of clarity, but we also have to be able to have real conversations. Because I can't, organizations run with clarity and,
Right.
grabbing the bull by the horns and dealing with it right there. If you become passive aggressive and, we'll deal with it later, or everyone gets held accountable except for my wife. Well, that's not going to happen. Or
Right.
everyone gets held accountable except for my husband. That's an unhealthy culture.
Right.
But when people go like, oh, wow, because I get held accountable. I get held accountable by our board and
Yeah.
and things like that. And they do like,
Right.
like people have been in the room where
Right.
I've had to respond just like
Right.
everyone else.
Right.
And so, and not that one I was angry because no one was in the room. And
And you were angry with, and it wasn't like, but like even after that, where
I just
knew,
couldn't believe that I was involved in the whole process. And I'm like,
who switched at the last
how did
minute?
the moment there's a submission? And I'm like, how did this? And that's what I was mad at, because everyone
Yeah.
will always say like, oh, well, we just didn't hear it from you and whatever. And I'm like, and this is a perfect example that I was involved in like 4 meetings
Right.
leading up to this moment. It just happened that you and Nathan weren't involved in it. And so, you two interject yourself. But regardless of Nathan, we work together fine, and we don't act like brothers. We act like coworkers when
Right.
we're here and all that. But same for me and you. Like, and I think, the way Kristen and Lester have it is fantastic. If a person can build their business, if they're working with their spouse, where you could almost like 2 separate departments and you're running towards the same thing and you collaborate with each other. That's fantastic.
Right.
That's an ideal
Right.
space and world. And if someone can develop their organization to be able to do that and scale, do that. And I know them personally, and they've done great doing it.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be able to, because we're still a church, and we still take like male headship as an important factor. And so I couldn't say like, hey, Ashlee, here's your playground, because
Right.
we still believe at the end of the day that male headship has to be involved in all the big decisions,
Right.
as Scripture tells us to. And so we're a very empowering ministry when it comes to men and women leading.
Right.
And I know people on the outset, they go like, oh, Adam and Ashlee co-lead. Well, that's just the best language for it. But that's not really how it is
No.
in function and on paper.
Right.
Is we take a male. There always has to be a male headship
Right.
at the front of the helm.
Right.
Which in this case would be me.
Right.
And
Yeah, and so like even after that,
historically was my dad and whoever
Right.
else. Like.
so like even after that situation though, like someone would be like, "Were you so upset, Ashlee?" I was like, "Yeah, I was pissed. I was mad. Don't be yelling at me. You lost your mind." But I went to church, got Jesus, and then I was okay.
Yeah.
But like even in those moments, because because I had reflecting of like, dang, I missed the mark. Dang, I should have known, or I should have asked questions prior. Because I'm really good at asking questions. Adam's like, you ask a question every single day. Would you just be quiet? But it's for me because I want to learn and I want to know. So like sometimes I'll even make a statement and he'll be like, that's not correct, because I'll base it more off of emotions, or even sometimes I'll base it more off of my own opinion where I don't think something is right. And he's like, yeah, that's not going to work because X, Y, and Z. And working in ministry is completely different because most of the time you can't just base it off of your own personal opinion or emotions. You have to be, like Adam said, you either know business or you don't. So either you're going to educate yourself and understand that there's a cut, or there's a cost and there's a gain, or stay out of it. But now that I know, I'm now asking him questions. Okay, if we were to buy this is how much we would get back on top of the cost, or yeah. So
Just manage a budget. The decision
yes.
was not based on managing a budget,
Exactly.
which is
So-
what needed to be learned and
right.
and dealt
Which
with,
now I'm now well.
No,
know
if
of.
it was
Yeah.
just an educated decision and it was like, oh no, we weighed that, blah blah blah. Here's what we did. Then I'd be like, hey, cool. You guys are, I was involved. I'm mad that no one spoke up, but. What I was upset was
We cut it just
you
'cause
guys
they
were
thought it was money.
quote
Yeah,
unquote
yeah.
making a organizational business decision without any organizational business logic,
Right.
And so it's like, hey, don't call something one thing when it's not.
Right.
It was just you guys acting brash. Oh, we got cut budget. Let's cut this. This isn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when asked questioned, it was like, oh, well, because we didn't want to be wasteful. It's like, well, what is wasteful?
Right.
How much? And then
Right.
at that point, it was like, oh yeah, and it wasn't even. There's things that could be cut, way more before,
Yeah.
because it's a nominal cost at the end of the day what was cut, So, but I think that to me, my opinion is that outside of church setting, just working together, somebody has to be in charge. And one person has to take more of a submitted role. And I'm not necessarily arguing that it has to be the man that has to take the submitted role, which is why I added our church structure as it's biblical. We kind of have we have a playbook from the Bible that tells us how to manage church leadership, but that's not ambidextrous into every business. So let's just say husband and wife go into a nail business together, and possibly the wife is the principal visionary. Right. Well, somebody has to be at the helm. You can't, it'd be very difficult, and this is where kind of couples tend to, have difficulties when they say, hey, you have one hand on the steering wheel and I'll have one hand on the steering wheel. And then, go outside right now and go to try to drive in a parking lot with your foot's on the brake, you have one hand on the steering wheel, and then your wife has one foot on the gas and one hand on the steering wheel too. Like, you're not going to go that far without hitting something, or you have to have such incredible communication that difficulty doesn't even matter. And so somebody has to lead the helm, and somebody needs to play much more. You're still leading, you're still in charge of a lot, but you have to take more of the co-captain. It's like an airplane. Both have something to do in the cockpit, but at the end of the day, the pilot is held accountable. The pilot takes off and lands, but the co-pilot is ensuring, however it is, I'm not a pilot, but ensuring GPS navigation, making sure that all emergency systems are running, everything like that. And so it's not deflating, but a lot of times people come up to me like, hey, Adam, like, how do you and Ashlee do it? Because me and my spouse, it's so hard for us. And I'm like, well, the way you're explaining it, me and Ashlee, we don't manage it like that. I am in charge. I'm leading. I'm the principal visionary. I'm the principal decider. I'm the most educated on the subject matter. I'm the most trained in the subject matter. And so Ashlee's opinion and voice and what she sees, it has such a high value in me. But at the same time, I have to have enough maturity to be like, or if there's something there's times today you text me about, hey, why did this happen? And I'm like, because you weren't there. Be quiet. Like, you weren't there. You don't have a say. And that's literally what I said. I go, you didn't want to prioritize it. You weren't there. You have no say. And and she went quiet because I'm like, you can't.
I'm a mom.
Yeah, she was like, I was watching our kids, and and I'm like, okay, that's great, but then don't get involved. Like, you missed it. I had to call a shot. And you can't be mad at it. I still at the end of the day have to make the decisions, and I'm not going to call you and be like, hey, sweetie, is this going to be okay for your ego or whatever, or
if you said it in Spanish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe tu loco ego. Yeah. Me, Amer.
Gabe, you laughed a little too hard over there. We heard you real loud and clear.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but I think also when it comes to, like, even when people come up and they're like, how do you and your spouse work so well together? I'm not tooting my own horn, but there's a humility side of things where you said, like,
we have to.
There's a humility on both sides, but also because you don't ever put me I don't ever feel second to you. I put myself there because I know I'm not as experienced in ministry. I'm still rough around the edges on certain things. Although a coaching or just an athletic background of teamwork and all of those things and things that I may have seen over the last 10 years, I still don't know everything. But there's a humility that takes place because, like I said, I know where I fall, but I don't fall into this, like, submission of, like, oh yeah, I worship Adam and da 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 da. No, I fall into
he's the boss.
Yeah,
whatever
he's
he
the
says.
whatever he says
you fight
goes.
back on it.
Oh yes.
You make your disagreement known.
Yes, absolutely.
You get involved in stuff without me, like, giving green light.
Right.
And
there's certain things where you've done, and I'm like, well, I don't agree with it, and you're like, too bad. And here's what it is. But I don't go home and be like, I can't believe you didn't agree with me, and I'm your wife. You need to listen to me, and blah 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 blah. No, this is
you
work.
Embarrassed me or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
That I put those things aside because I'm like, at the end of the day, I know my husband loves me at work, at home. He knows that I'm imperfect. He knows that I'm not going to always get it right. So when it comes to work, he knows that as a wife, and knows as a mother, and he shows me grace in that, but he also shows me grace when it comes to work. So that's why it makes it so easy, is because we know I would say our roles when it comes to work and where I am. I'm happy. Like the same way that I say our marriage is the Jordan to the Scottie Pippen, I feel like the same way when it comes to work. It's like, you're the Jordan, I'll be the Scottie Pippen, I'll give the assists all day, I'll do the dirty work, I'll do, like, not dirty work like that, but like I'll do like the chairs and the cleanup and all. I love the behind the scenes stuff.
The hospitality
stuff. Oh, I love all that stuff. And so that's my lane, to where you've never like, and people know like that, the events and all of those things, that's like my lane. If I could do that the rest of my time here, that would be my green light. But I know that I'm called to do more. So that's where you still give me grace in that, because I'm still learning in this call to do more. Because you've been leading over the last 7 years with the transition, and I haven't. I wasn't. I was still doing the events and women's and meeting with members and whatnot, but like leading at a capacity now, I'm not gonna get it right all the time. And I've shot things off of you like, hey, this is what I said, and you're like, maybe you should, or talk to him like this, or maybe before you go, ask questions before you go in hard and ask reasonings. So, because normally, because I'm just how I'm wired as an athlete, it's like, why would you do that? Like, why would you make that pass? You saw that pass. You saw that person was not going to be open and available. Like, so now you're like, you can't just sub somebody because you don't want them on the field. You're like, you need your team. So it's one where you have coached me as well in this role, to where I think that's what's helped. But you have brought me along, and you've never made, which I'll say is beautiful, you've never made me feel second. That co-lead where you said like, yeah, it doesn't make sense because there's still a headship. You still invite me in on things, because I've been humble enough to know you so well, I wouldn't speak out of what you would speak.
Well, and I know that you grind. So I've had my years where I've done that, and you've done that. And, you know, that, let's just say you and I were like in manufacturing, and it's like, you know, let's just say I started, you know, let's just say like, you know, we just had something yesterday. We invited one of our members, Mr. Ross, to do an interview, and we were talking about him owning dealerships. And he said, well, you know, I played every role in the dealership. So he's like, you know, I started as a salesman, and then I moved to leading a sales team, and I went from sales team to finance team, and I went from finance team to this, to GM, to then I owned a business. And what a lot of people will do who maybe are involved in an organization and they do something with their spouse is, you know, they may say, okay, hey, you know, I've grown it to here, now come in, and then now we'll be like equals, or you're a part of it. And it's like, for him or her, they don't know how it operates from the ground up. So now they've been given this like co-authority or some type of authority in the company or in the organization. In our case, we're nonprofit. And it's like they just start shot calling, and you're like, no, you think of who this impacts. Somebody's got to come in and they got to mop this, and then another person's got to get a team and make phone calls and emails, and and so for you, like, I have that respect, because it's almost as if you were like, hey, I'm coming and being part of this. I'll start on the sales floor. I don't have to have an office next to you. I'll start at the sales floor, and then I'll lead a sales team, and then I'll do this. And for you, for 5 years, you were an administrative assistant, and then for 3 years, you were a co-lead in a women's ministry. And then, and then you went into, operating other things that was like events and hospitality, and like you set up chairs, and you still mop and you still sweep. So for me, I did that. My dad made me do that stuff. He made me paint the church walls. He made me plant plants outside. I've experienced, I had to serve, from, 15 to 21, in ministry, and just be behind the scenes. And so I've lived that. So, so there's I have an awareness where a lot of times when people are doing stuff, unless they started it together, but even still, if you started together, the wife may have like went and, reared some kids for a few years and this, and then the husband still held it down, or vice versa. Right. And so I invite you into it because I'm like, okay, she's played about every gritty role that you could play. She's taken out trash bags. She's mopped. She's swept. She's, heated, egg rolls in the church cafe, and she's made lemonade and Gatorade and so it's like she's done all this stuff that I don't need anyone else to have known that or seen that, but it's like, I know that. So then I'm like, okay, I know that she cares. She may not make the best decision at this level right now at every time, but I know that the heart's in it, and I know that she's not trying to take advantage of people or trying to abuse people because she's played those roles that, otherwise if someone just comes in and is like, oh, you're a leader, and they're like, I don't care, just tell them to do it. And it's like, what that just tell them to do it means because you've been on that side of the coin. And like that's what's important. That's what matters. And I think the other thing, that works for us is a lot of couples, they say, when we get home, we can't talk about work. We put that to the side. And then now we're, husband and wife and we get in the right roles and et cetera, et cetera. But like, that just doesn't work for us. And because we communicate well when it comes to work, I think in 10 years, maybe 3 or 4 arguments concerning work, and so, but you've done it. We talk about it, but at home we talk all day, all night. Yeah, we don't be like, we'll talk about it in the office. We take a phone call right there. We speakerphone it. We, But then if I'm with my executive team, like, hold on, Ashlee's next to me. Let me put on because she may know something. Whatever. So. But
we let each other thrive in what we're good at. Because we were in a meeting last week, and I was there, and we were talking to other people, and you're walking around with this person having vision and saying and seeing and what you want. I had every opportunity to, one, I could have followed and educated myself, but I also knew that that's your lane. Mm-hmm. That's something that you enjoy, that you love, that you like being creative in, that you have a heart for. So me coming in and also being like, I don't know if I like that, or maybe I want that changed here, or maybe you should do that. Where I know where my husband thrives in I stay out of it. Mm-hmm. Because the last thing, too, I want to do as a wife is be like, here she goes. She's always on my back. She's always trying to figure out, or she's always trying to put her finger on something. And it's not that you wouldn't, but I visually have seen, like, this is him thriving right now.
Yeah.
Let him be in his lane. Let him just do what he knows how to do without an opinion, without any of that. Because those are what we tend to do as wives, thinking like, well, I want to add some value, or I want to say something to this. And sometimes it's not necessary. So just because your voice isn't heard in a moment doesn't mean your husband doesn't take value of it. Know where your husband thrives and allow him to thrive. You backing off and allowing him to just be in his lane, let him be in it. Just like Christ and Commitment was 2 years ago. You just said, Ashlee, do it. If you would have started telling me to get... You do it then.
I'm like, I don't like those flowers. I wouldn't drape that like that.
You wouldn't do that.
That would be annoying for you.
When I was excited and I did it, and I was like, I want it to look like Coldplay, lights everywhere, candles on the stage. I want it to look like this. I want an orchestra. I want violinists. You didn't say anything. Because if you would have said something, I would have been hot. I'm like, this is mine. Don't touch my baby.
Yeah.
But
and it had a budget. And you stayed within your budget. It got pre-planned, pre-approved.
It did.
So it was like, okay, we can budget for that. But you learn, conflict is a way of learning. Anyone who's in organizational leadership knows that conflict is part of the process of either getting better or getting worse. And you have to make a decision. And so
but I think that goes to marriage too.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it has some bleed, but in the sense of like, though you and I haven't had, a ton of arguments about it, we've had consistent conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Of saying, hey, I see it differently, or this, or hey, this needs to be a learning lesson for you, or this, or I have to bring you into perspective on my lens, and you might have to bring perspective on your lens that's maybe more relational, and then mine is normally more organizational. So like you and I, we're looking at a church we may try to acquire, and so that's where I'm doing all that, but just a few months prior, I was managing another few $1 million project, and you came in with like an issue with something that you wanted, and it was only thousands of dollars, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, Ashlee, I'm dealing with like a couple $1 million project. I'm not concerned with your little like $10,000, $5,000 issue, and that's not short change, but for the scale of what we were doing, I was just like, hey, you just picked the wrong time to talk about this, because that is like the least of what I'm worried about.
Right.
And then you went like, oh, okay, cool. Locked it in, learning lesson, cool. I know when to approach it next time.
Right.
I know how much friction to bring on it. And then we move into this conversation last week, and similar, it had to do with renovations and all that. And you're like, okay, cool. I'll he'll tell me when, as things get decided.
Right.
And if you came and you're like, I don't like that paint color, I like it, then I'd be like, cool, okay. It's been non-conflict.
Yeah.
But when you come and you're like, that's stupid. Why do and you don't really talk like that anymore. Well, really, I can't think of too many times, but people, I know couples that would be the conversation is, well, that's dumb. Did you even think about blah, blah?
Right.
And then now the spouse is like, I would have been open to hearing you out, but now I'm doing it out of spite, because you're on my nerves, and that happens, and then people talk to us like, how do you guys do it? I'm like, well, we're just not doing what you're doing.
Right.
Our framework isn't bad. At the end of the day, if the decision's a bad decision, it's my decision.
Right.
It's not Ashlee's decision.
Right, because majority of the time that we've also said, like we said, because of the spiritual headship, also just view as the boss and the leader. If I make a decision that is bad, yes, it falls on me, but it's still a reflection of Adam because he's still the leader. Mm-hmm. So, like, we've made that statement before. Like, you've made statements before, too. Like, when things go bad within the ministry, I'm the leader. Mm-hmm. So, for me and you, it's always been a conversation of, like, hey, how do we want to reflect our leader in this moment and in this situation? Being in mind of also protecting our leader because you are a great leader. It's how are we mindful and navigating, and that doesn't go for me, just me, it goes our executive staff, everyone underneath him. But majority of the things that will fall on you. Mm-hmm. So you will bring to clarity of like, hey, be mindful if this does not succeed. Yes, you will get the conversation and the conflict between you and I, but this is what it looks like for me, Ashlee. Are we willing to do this? And not deterring me from not doing it. It's just, I've seen the big picture. Although you've brought it to me, I'm looking at the big picture and the big scope. You're looking at the now, I'm looking at the later. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, great conversation. Hopefully it helps some people.
Help somebody.
And if not, helped you, hopefully. Hopefully, maybe you stop bullying me.
Well, that was dumb.
Hasta luego.
Oh, gosh. Goodbye.
Saludos tu mamá.
So long. This is so long. Farewell. That would be me.
God bless you, buddy.